All right, so as you can see here, I got the salmon cooking all nicely here. Like I said, I'm about to turn it over uh, and get the other side. And whenever you do a light spray in the pan itself, it's going to heat up very quickly there. So you're only going to want to cook it on that side for at least 5 minutes here. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to peek up on the salmon itself there, because otherwise, like I said, if you don't cook it enough there on its side, uh, then it's going to fall apart itself there. Right now, I am about to flip it over though. Now, guys, don't worry if the salmon actually gets burned or not though, because blackened salmon is very tasty there. The key thing is that you want to get a good fry on the salmon itself. Make sure that it is properly thawed out, and that way you don't have the salmon swimming in water. As you can tell from here, it's properly seasoned, it's being seared. You don't see any water like you saw in Jason Genova's video. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over with some tongs there, and hopefully I don't screw it up, because with me holding this camera, anything can happen here. So just a second here. All right. So as you can see, that is a lovely sear on that salmon. Now I still have a little part right here, which once I get this other side cooked up there, I'm going to turn it over slightly there, and then I'm going to hold it there. But the key to making salmon itself there, or at least the way I make salmon, is to make sure that I get a good sear on the back end side there, because that skin is very crispy and it's very delicious there. And because I didn't use much oil in it there, it's also quite healthy. A lot of people, they put way too much olive oil into making salmon. You don't really need to do all that there. I mean, if you have a good hot pan and you put a proper amount of olive oil and a proper spices, you don't really need that many spices. I see people putting like 12 or 13 different items on there. The only thing you really need is a little bit of salt and pepper there. That's really it though. So I am going to give this a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to turn it right on over. All right, you guys, there you have it. This is nice, delicious salmon. You don't see any oil or any grease all over the place. The skin is properly seared. It's going to be really crispy. And the very top of it, it is well cooked and this is a very tasty product there. Even the type of brand, even though this is not the brand that I'm going to buy anymore, like I said, as long as you use a good olive oil and you use, salt and pepper, that's the most simplest ingredients out there, you can make for a tasty meal. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the asparagus, and we'll just be about done here. All right, you guys, this is the finished product. The asparagus is nice and neatly roasted. And as you can tell, the asparagus still maintains its vibrant color. Never boil asparagus, always roast it, so that way it keeps all the nutrients in. As you guys notice, that there's a much larger portion of asparagus than there is of salmon, and that's the reason being is because asparagus actually has a good amount of protein. I love asparagus, and I just like the flavor of it there. As far as meat to vegetable ratios and everything like that, it's always important to eat more vegetables than it is to eat more meat there, because the vegetables are what's going to give you all the good nutrients and stuff like that, and the salmon is what's going to give you the protein. And like I said, this here is a typical ketogenic diet that I have usually at nighttime. I'll take the asparagus, and usually I'll have that either with flank steak or ahi tuna, or I'll actually have steamed spinach there as well. Either that, or I'll actually eat the spinach raw. The reason being is because, like I said before, I like I don't like boiling any foods or anything like that, because when you boil the foods, you lose the nutrients here. So I'm going to have this with some jasmine tea, product of China here. Not sure if you guys can see that here, but hopefully it turns out better on the screen itself there. This is a great tea to have there. Has a moderate size amount of caffeine in it there. But ultimately, it's a product of China, and it's very tasty here. So I'm going to go ahead and get to eating. Then I'm going to clean up. Then I'm going to head out to the club. But that's all for the night, people. You guys take care and keep making those meaty gains.